Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Before I go to bed, I'm going to be filming a video about game ones of the ALDS/NLDSs. Had a fun time making the wildcard videos, so I'm back again. Hopefully going to make baseball content all playoffs, give you my opinions on the games. And yeah, let's get into it. First of all, we got the Cubs and the Brewers. Don't have a Brewers baseball, unfortunately, so I can't hold one. I don't have a Phillies or Dodgers baseball either, so I can't hold either of those, depending on whoever wins. The Cubs and the Brewers. Divisional matchup, very close together, 90 miles. Might be doing bus rides instead of planes. I don't know, but it is possible. Anyways, top of the first, Michael Busch leadoff home run instantly. And I thought this was a big hit for the Cubs. Usually, a leadoff home run sets the tone very well for a game. But this game, not so much. Churio, Chirang, and Contreras all hit three straight doubles and be 2-1 just like that, you know. Then a fielding error by Horner allowed another run to score. Perkins had an RBI single. Churio had a 2 RBI single. Matthew Boyd does not get out of the first inning. 2 outs. He ended up giving up, I think all 6 runs were charged to him. Only a few of them were earned because of the Horner error. That's what I have noticed, is that there's a lot of fielding mistakes. I feel like there hasn't been very many baseball games that have been clean in the playoffs. I mean, especially in that Tigers-Guardians series. I felt like both teams made an error every single game last series between the Tigers and the Guardians. But it's 6-1 after 1. Cubs are feeling good after the top of the first, and that is just completely taken away. In the bottom of the second, Durbin had a 2 RBI single. Churio had I think he just had a regular RBI single. I put a 2 RBI single on my notes. I think it was a regular RBI single. It'd be 9-1 after 1. This game was over just like that. Happ and Horner both hit solo home runs, but it would all be for naught. The Brewers get a 9-3 very convincing win over the Cubs. And it's interesting to me because the Brewers have come up short a lot. I mean, last year was just a backbreaking, terrible, heartbreaking loss for them to Pete Alonso and the Mets. And I don't know if I don't think they've won a playoff series since like 2018, 2019. Remember they lost to the Dodgers in 2020. Can't remember 21. In 22, they didn't make it. In 23, I think they lost in the first round also. And then I know they lost in the first round last time too. So it's a good win for the Brewers, not just because it was pretty convincing, 9-3, but also because they have a little bit of playoff demons that they haven't been able to conquer yet. And winning a series would be a big start, and 9-3 win is definitely good. The Cubs' offense, that was their big selling point, was their offense. Their offense was not good in the Padres series. And 3 runs today, I understand. Freddie Peralta's pitching. He's pretty good. But the Cubs' offense is going to need to get going. It's going to be tough against the Brewers' pitching. But the Cubs' offense needs to get going if they want to make the NLCS. I would say that. So, first star was Churio. He was 3 for 3, perfect on the day with a double and 3 RBIs. Peralta was the second star, 5 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts. I have a bit of a surprising third star. I gave it to Aaron Savali, former Brewer. He got traded this year. I gave it to him because he came out of the bullpen, pitched 4 1/3 shutout, really saved that Cubs bullpen after Boyd was only able to get 2 outs. He gave up 3 hits, but no runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. I thought he was worth giving the third star to. Maybe that was a bit of a weird pick, but I thought it was right. But yeah, Brewers win 9-3 over the Cubs. We'll see what happens on Monday for game 2. Don't know how to count the 2, apparently. Blue Jays and Yankees. I talked about the Brewers having some playoff demons, but I would say the Blue Jays kind of do too. They haven't won a playoff game since 2016. Since they played the Indians not in the World Series, in the ALCS. Sorry, the Indians played in the World Series. I had a blanking moment right there. But they got swept by the Rays in 2020. They got swept by the Mariners in 2022. Got swept by the Twins in 2023. Those are some tough teams to get swept by in the playoffs, especially the Mariners and the Twins. And yeah, the Blue Jays haven't won a playoff series since 2016. But a playoff game since 2016, I should say. A series either, but they haven't won a playoff game since 2016. But they were able to exercise those demons today against hated rival New York Yankees. I will say this is the first time the Yankees and Blue Jays have matched up in the playoffs. There are only 3 teams now that the Yankees have not matched up in the playoffs with. White Sox, Nationals, and Rockies. Will the Rockies ever make the World Series? I really couldn't tell you. Nationals look far away too. White Sox look far away from making the playoffs, but new matchup here, Yankees and Blue Jays. Quick start for the Blue Jays. Vlad Guerrero Jr. hit a home run in the bottom of the first. He said that he would rather retire than play for New York, and he got some of that New York hate out there. He played a really good first base. And before I go on, I almost forgot to mention this. Grisham had a foul ball, should have been foul ball off his foot. It was, I will say, looked like a tough thing for the umpire to judge, especially since it was going away from him, but it was I think it was clear on the replay that it was a foul ball. But unfortunately, that's not a reviewable play. I remember in 2024, for the Astros, Jose Altuve had 2 foul balls that went off his foot that were called fair in the same season, and I thought those were more obvious than the Grisham one, even though the Grisham one should have been called a foul ball. And I remember Altuve got ejected both times. He's been ejected 3 times in his career. Twice were those foul balls that should have been off, that were off his foot. And one of those times he took his shoe off and sock off and pointed it out to the umpire. I don't know what that was going to do because it went off his shoe. Yeah, that rhymed. But yeah, tough break for the Yankees. Wrong call. I do think it was a bit of a difficult call. It definitely changed directions, but it wasn't like it was clearly like this is his foot. It's not like it went like that. It was more like that. If I hope that demonstration was good. With the Blue Jays baseball, Alejandro Kirk, he had a great game for the Blue Jays last week to help them clinch the division lead, and he had another home run today. That made it 2-0. 6th inning was really big because the Yankees were able to load the bases against Gausman, and when you have the bases loaded and nobody out, I think Judge is the guy you want at the plate. And he had a 3-2 count, and he swung and missed terribly. And it was kind of like, I don't know. I think this is a big moment here. I know it ended up being a blowout, but I feel like this is a big moment here. And then Bellinger would walk with the bases loaded. Gausman kind of lost it a little bit. He got Rice to pop up, where they took out Gausman, put in Louis Varland. I think it's Louis Varland, because I almost think I know it's Louis Varland, but whoever was announcing this game kept calling him Louis Varland. I think it's Louis. But Varland came in, and he struck out Stanton, and only 1 run came in with the bases loaded and nobody out. I don't think that Judge has had a bad game this postseason, but I definitely think that if you're a Yankees fan, you're disappointed with that at bat, especially because he chased ball 4. And Stanton striking out too, you know? The Blue Jays would take this and run with it. In the 7th inning, Jimenez had an RBI single. Nathan Lucas had a great game. He had a 2 RBI double. Or not maybe an RBI double. I can't read my own handwriting. Vlad Guerrero, yes, it was a 2 RBI double. Sorry. Vlad Guerrero Jr. hit a sac fly. It'd be 6-1 after 7. 8th inning, Blue Jays would score 4 more runs. Kirk hit another home run, making it 7-1. Paul Blackburn's in there, and he's not been good this year, or since he got traded away from the Athletics. So it's kind of like a waving the white flag for the Yankees. Jimenez had a 2 RBI double. Ernie Clement had a sac fly. Nathan Lucas had another RBI, this time a single. And it would be a lot to a little. 10-1, Blue Jays win. Very convincing. This Blue Jays team, if the offense is clicking, and they don't even have Bo Bichette, if this offense is clicking, they are a really, really good team. And they got some good pitching too. Their bullpen kind of worries me, especially Jeff Hoffman closing against the Yankees. Gives up a lot of home runs. Yankees hit a lot of home runs. That sounds like a recipe for disaster, especially if it's a 1-run game. But the Blue Jays win. They're 1 game closer to the ALCS. Kirk, I gave him the first start, 2-for-4 with 2 home runs and 2 RBIs. Vlad was 3-for-4 with a home run, 2 RBIs, and a sac fly. Gausman, 5 2/3, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. He did lose it a little bit in that 6th inning, but all's well that ends well for Toronto. They lead 1-0 over the Yankees. Dodgers and Phillies. This is a tough loss for the Phillies, in my opinion. They had a lead. They scored 3 runs off Ohtani, and they couldn't hold it. And Dave Robertson was not very good. Oh, I wanted to say one more thing. Sorry, Dodgers and Phillies fans, or Phillies fans might not want me to talk about the game. Luke Weaver. I think that's 5 runs he's given up in the postseason so far without getting an out. He has not been good in the postseason. Almost forgot about him. He's who started that rally in the 7th inning. He was pitching when the rally started in the 7th inning. Luke Weaver not been good. Anyways, Dodgers, Phillies. like I said, Ohtani was good pitching today, but he was not good batting. But the Phillies would not end up winning the game. Sorry, I'm very tired. I'm going to a Texas State Fair tomorrow. Got to wake up very early, so my mind's kind of out of there. But I do want to continue talking about this. Remuto had a 2 RBI triple off of Ohtani in the second. Bader hit a sac fly, making it 3-0. Bader had a great catch in the 5th inning, too. Bader played some really good baseball today. Unfortunately, it was in a loss because in the 5th inning, Kike Hernandez hit a 2 RBI double off Christopher Sanchez, who was good. He went 5 2/3, gave up 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. But in the 7th inning, Teoscar Hernandez would hit a 3-run home run. David Robertson, he didn't throw Muncy a strike when he came in the 6th inning, or 5th, 6th. When he came in, he did not throw Muncy a strike. And it was a little worrisome, and then he stayed in, he gave up a hit, and then he hit Will Smith, which is just a bad mistake. You can't make that when you're playing the Dodgers. And then Teoscar would launch one for a 3-run home run. Like I said, Ohtani was not very good at the plate today. He was over 4 strikeouts and a walk. But pitching is where it mattered, and Ohtani pitched a quality start, and he had a really good pitching night. He's the second star, so I will get to him in a second. But like I said, Christopher Sanchez, not a bad outing. This is definitely a game the Phillies needed to win. They need to win. It's a must-win game for them, game 2, because if not, you could be going back to LA down 2-0. I don't think you want to do that. And this is the year the Phillies need to win, and I think everyone's getting older. There's a lot of talks that Schwarber's going to be back after free agency. I don't see Remuto going anywhere. Suarez is a free agent. There's no Wheeler next year. It's going to be really, really tough for them to keep coming back. I think this is a year the Phillies need to win. Anyways, the Stars, Teoscar, 1 for 4, but it was a big hit. Home run for 3 RBIs. I gave him the first star over Ohtani because his home run basically won them the game. Ohtani, though, good on the mound. 6 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. Remuto, 1 for 4 with a triple, 2 RBIs. Or Kike Hernandez. Kike Hernandez is a really, really, really good postseason hitter. It's really interesting because he's not the best regular season hitter, but when the lights are bright, he's different. And sometimes I give the star to a player who had a somewhat lesser performance because Kike was 1 for 4 with a double and 2 RBIs. Remuto was 1 for 4 with a triple and 2 RBIs. But I don't know. I thought I'd give it to Remuto, but Kike definitely had a big hit. Dodger legend. There you go. I'm getting my note cards all sorted out. Last game. Longest game. Tigers and Mariners. This is tough for Seattle. It's only 1 game, but they could, at the very least, the Tigers are going to be even going back to Detroit with Skubal set up to pitch. So this is a big, big win for the Tigers. That's what I was thinking, is if they could win one of these games in Seattle without Skubal, the Tigers might have a chance to take the series. Anyways, 4th inning, Julio Rodriguez would hit a solo home run, making it 1-0 Mariners. Julio, just absolutely phenomenal since the All-Star break. He had like 25 or 30 multi-hit games since the All-Star break ended. Just absolute heater. This is kind of what we know from Julio. Very mediocre to begin the season. After the All-Star break, he's a phenomenal hitter. We saw it last year. We saw it this year. We've seen it most years. But Julio continues to play good baseball. Top of the 5th, Kerry Carpenter would hit a 2-run home run. Kerry Bonds, as some Tigers fans like to call him, making it 2-1 Detroit. Julio would have another RBI. This would be an RBI single in the 6th inning. A stat that Mariners fans aren't going to like is that the Mariners had 6 hits. 3 of them came from Julio. 3 of them came from Cal Raleigh. And 0 came from anybody else. So no Suarez, no Naylor, no Rosarena, no Polanco. Just very tough. And I think that, I don't want to sound like a Mariners hater because I don't hate the Mariners, but I do think that their offense is streakier than some people give it credit for, if that makes sense. I think that people expected them to come in here and just absolutely win every game 6 or 7-0. Maybe they're hoping for that. And I understand. Seattle's been starved for baseball success, and I'm definitely rooting for guys like Raleigh and Julio and Eugenio. I'm saying it like I'm buddies with him, and Suarez, I should say. But I do think that their offense is a little bit streaky, a little bit streakier than some people give them credit will say. I don't know how much this Mariners team is a World Series contender right now, but you just need to get hot in the playoffs, and that's all that matters. And maybe they'll make me eat my words, and I hope they do, because, again, I hope the Mariners win, but they did not win today. McKinstry had an RBI single on the top of the 11th. McKinstry has had a few big go-ahead RBIs. He hit the sac fly in the 7th inning of Game 1 against the Guardians to give the Tigers a 2-1 lead, and they ended up winning that game 2-1. He hit the go-ahead RBI in the top of the 11th, and that gave the Tigers a 3-2 lead. Mariners lose to the Tigers 3-2 in 11 innings. Also want to say that watching this game made me realize I really hate the runner on second, and I wish it did not exist. I love it so much more when there is no runner on second, and I think that this was a good game. This one's upside down. I gave Julio the first start despite the loss. He was really good today at the plate. 3 for 5, home run, 2 RBIs. Unfortunately, was not enough. Raleigh gets an honorable mention, but I thought I had to give it to Carpenter and McKinstry because they're the reasons why the Tigers won. 1 for 5 for Carpenter with a home run and 2 RBIs. McKinstry was 1 for 5 with an RBI, go-ahead RBI, like I said. And Raleigh's an honorable mention because he was 3 for 5 also, but the Mariners could not win. So let me know what you think about I'll hold the Tigers baseball because I didn't do that too much. Let me know what y'all think about the games in the comment section below. As always, 2 games tomorrow. It's the American League, and then the National League plays on Monday. So Dodgers, Phillies, Brewers, Cubs fans, you guys get the day off. Tigers, Mariners, Blue Jays, Yankees, we're going to do it again tomorrow. I believe that is what, at least. Don't fact check me on. Don't quote me on that. I think that is what it is, at least, though. I know the Tigers and Mariners play tomorrow. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. I want to apologize if you feel like this was a little quick. Like I said, I am going out of town tomorrow. The state fair is 4 hours away from where I live, so I have to go to bed really early and wake up really early. But I hope everybody enjoyed this video. I hope that people have been enjoying my talking about this. I love talking about baseball. Don't really get to do that a whole lot in my real life, so post it to the internet for other people to see. Hopefully I makes a video people enjoy. Again, these aren't supposed to be very high effort. These aren't supposed to be very edited. I'm not a good editor at all. But yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it, and I'll talk to you all again soon.